Executioner was interesting. Executioner and
Can you
crippling.
juggle?
Can I juggle? I cannot juggle. Threesome. So we're running these. What would try to stick into here? So let's build this first, just the brawny version. We can come back to the Colossus version, or the let's try the Battle Forge first. I like the idea of no brawny because don't have to do that. So we run Colossus somewhere in here, and don't worry about what is this, 1, 2, and I love getting Pathfinder into a build where it makes some sense. That's really nice. I hate giving up the AP from attacking things. How fatigue works with initiative. Wouldn't dodge be very good? I don't know, man. I don't know how it works with that particularly. Too fast for you. Gain 15% of the character's initiative as bonus to melee and range defense. Doesn't tell us much of anything, does it? Your initiative is reduced by your accumulated fatigue. Is it just like a straight amount? So if you have 40 accumulated fatigue, are you subtracting 40 out of your initiative? If you have like 5, like if you only have like fucking 20 working like fatigue, what happens? It's better, you're saying? Always win. Talked about that already. Reach advantage is almost always like, you don't hit every attack. Maybe you hit like a good brother, your hit rate's like 80% or something, and then so you're only getting 80% of the time you're triggering this at all, and vast majority of your attacks are just a target. Yeah, exactly. So okay. So we could do this. We could do this with very low low stam builds, right? And if we do this with low stam, then maybe dodge and whatever it is become useful. We'll worry about the order later. Let's just see what we can fit in there. So this would be dodge and relentless. Although I'm not sure you'd actually bother taking relentless. What are we actually looking for? Yeah, it's interesting. Don't need relentless pro. So this is probably going to be what, 8, 10 maybe? This is basically 10 stat points. If we're going to do that, we're probably stuck with gifted because we probably can't justify not doing that on gifted. It's probably these, and then we have 2 points left. Again, we'll figure out the order in just a second, so don't freak about that. I don't think reach advantage is very valuable here, but maybe it's just pure melee defense regularly. Steel brows for when things get fucked up. We're already running Colossus. Resilient is something we'll think about for the Nimble version of this, I guess. You probably actually want these to be battle forged if you're trying to take advantage of dodge. Then the weight penalty enough for. Oh, maybe. Fortified mind is interesting. Fearless is not. I want fast adaptation. Not running fast adaptation. Quick hands for reach weapon for extra ability. I don't like that play. Building all my brothers like that. I mean, maybe this would be the group for doing it because these people are gonna be they're not gonna have to be worried about the stamina stuff so much. I mean, there are what's the hammer? Pole hammer. What's the mace? That pole mace that we saw, and then what's the axe? The long axe. So there are reach weapons for all of these. There is some utility to be able to always get to your opponent. Dodge works with the Battle Forge. Doesn't it work better than the Nimble version? You have less stamina, less fatigue to be used up. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so the initiative is reduced by the minus 15 requirement. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this isn't a dodge build then. Like, I'm just trying to figure out where we would put dodge in, and maybe it's not this particular build. Do we buy this quick hand, long reach shit? It reminds me a lot of our hybrids a million seasons ago, where we sat in the back with reach weapons and then had a two-hander in our inventory and a shield in our inventory in case we ended up being in those positions before they nerfed all that. Dodge only on nimble builds. Gotcha. Yeah. So do 2 of these then. All right. What I like about this is how no recover means 100% uptime. Really nice. And it feels like it could be done with earlier brothers. Kansas core. Is it? It would be nice to have a quick hand spec weapon. I can imagine like running next to a necro, like next to the necro's guards and hitting the necro would be kind of nice. 100% no indom for these. I think these are no indom builds. I think indom got really a lot worse for two-handed weapons, and especially with no recover, right? Like you're just not going to have indom stand for this. We'll look at the non-neutral two-hander builds later. As we're at 2 hours of spreadsheets, by the way. So no sign of slowing down. 100% not an early build. I disagree. I think this is probably an early build. Argument for quick hands is that since fatigue is a dump stat, you might not care about fatigue penalty of having a weapon in your backpack. Yeah, although at some point you're going to be left with 20 stam, something, or 15 stam. The first time you get hit with any stam reducing effect or wound, it will suddenly be at 0. Yeah, it could be. I assume it could be late, but one of the goals is to find brothers for the early game. All right. Chat is really high on this. We should just try it. It's not that I'm against trying it. I just want it to make. I want it to make sense from a build. So let's say we did that. We threw in quick hands. We're missing now all of our survivability and some damage stuff, right? So I could see not using ranged attack. I don't really like reach advantage on single attacking weapons. Really, pretty much everything. Steel Brow, resilient. Probably not worried about for the Battle Forge stuff. It's nice, but not essential. Relentless and dodge. Come back in the Nimble version. Headhunter is interesting, but again, we're not multi-attacking. This is a maybe. Executioner or crippling strikes gifted here. Gifting for the early part of it would be really nice. That's a little bit tempting to me if we're going to be building this kind of mid-game carry. Which, to be fair, might be maybe when you're doing a monolith run at day 30. Mid-game carry is your late game carry, I'm not sure. And executioner, crippling, fortified mind, quick hands, and dodge. Have that in there. Fortified mind. Rather run gifted here. Yeah, I don't hate backstabber. So we got 2 more perks we're allowed to have on this build. It's probably got to be something resembling defensive perks, huh? Maybe this is either. So executioner seems like it'd be very good for killing shit. But what are we? So, okay. The biggest problem I have with something like crippling strikes is what does it actually get me? Right? Like who is this good versus? It doesn't work at all versus undead, straight up. So they're just off the map entirely. Crippling unholds has never been satisfying for me. Like even when you do get wounding on them because of their huge HP pools, it tends to be kind of low value wounds, right? You don't get these severe wounds, which are the tier 2 wounds. And then who are we getting crippling for? Chosen. Crippling Chosen is nice. All human enemies. I haven't found the human enemies late game to be worthy of wasting talent for. I mean, with the exception of Chosen. And I don't know what late game Southern content's gonna be like. That's something. But like most of the time when I look at crippling, I'm just like, I don't care. The ones I want it for, like what I'd love to do is cripple orcs, but you just never do it. It just never happens. Like maybe a crippling sword build could do it, but it wouldn't be this one. It would be on one of the Cleaver, like it'd be on one of the duelists, right? I mean, these guys, these builds are gonna be hammers and maces. Hammers and maces do really nice wounds though. Oh, maybe. No weapon spec on this right now. Oh, seriously. Your Axe Brother is pretty strong. I don't know if it is strong though. That for that same problem, right? When is Executioner is extremely strong when you have lots of people capable of wounding your opponents. We could add that, by the way. Do we have a dagger build we're looking at? Okay, we have a dagger over there. Well, there's only 1 AP and 25 fatigue, so it should be used without investing in fatigue. No, it's definitely not usable without investing in fatigue. Definitely not. Try fear. Got 2 spots left on this. We haven't taken defensive perks yet. So this is currently Battleforged without Brawny and Colossus, because Colossus has just become better and better the more I play with it. So defensive wise, we have Steelbrow or Brawn. And are we just not going to do any maintenance for defensive shit? Because we dropped Indom, and now our I don't know. Yeah, we dropped Rotate too. Rotate's not on this brother anymore, but this brother's probably not going to have the stam to rotate. So the problem is once you start dropping Rotate on half your team, like it becomes so much less good when everybody can't rotate. Because the perk, the power of Rotate is at any point your neighbor can save you. Fearsome on this build. Seem good. Using a two-handed weapon. And all of the two-handed weapons you run on this have a shit ton of armor pen, right? Maces, hammers, and axes. You're almost always doing 15 HP damage already, so you're almost always triggering your roll. So are we just wanting a stronger roll off of it? Breaking Barb Kings before the DLC. But that's not at all related to how Fearsome works, though. You're already doing 15 or more HP damage to the graves. You already get the morale check, and having Fearsome doesn't give you any advantage prior to the DLC. With the new DLC, you get your resolve added, but you would have already done that without Fearsome. You already resolve check people when you do wounding to their HP above. So it's like why those archers don't need Fearsome, because they're fucking throwing javelins through people. I've misunderstood how adjacency bonuses are calculated. The formula is bonus attack equals 5. Sure. I thought it was, okay, you have a brother, you have your brother here, and there's 2 enemies there. Each of those enemies has +5. If then there's also a pole arm behind those 2 enemies attacking your brother has 2 people next to him. That pole arm gets +5 for each of them, right? So each of the melee guys in that situation has +5 and the pole arm has +10. Pole arm gets +5 and that's it. Why? Yeah, so again, okay, do we need to draw a scenario? All right, imagine this is, forget these are squares. So this is us, and then it's 3 tiles next to each other. All right, ready? Are you telling me seriously? Like, if this is us, and this is enemy, just imagine these are tiles and not, squares, so they're next to each other. So it's enemy, enemy next to us. And then there's a pike back here. You're telling me the pike doesn't get +10? The pike has backstabber, you should get +20, right? No, again, remember, okay, pretend us is on the line, right? So both those enemies are adjacent to us. Shouldn't each of those enemies get +5 and then the back one get +10? Am I imagining this? Forget no perks, so it's no fucking backstabber perk. It's just each enemy +5, pike +10. +5 after the first enemy. Yeah, but the first enemy is what? Yeah, I guess I need to look at this image because I'm apparently misunderstanding something here, which would be really. What am I looking at for that? Sure. Okay, so the image you blinked me while is 2 brothers standing. I mean, we put this on screen. Hold on. So tell me about this image. So 2 adjacent allies here. So the axe should get +10, 5 from each of these allies. Each of these allies should get +5 from the other ally. Why does the pike get +5 only? It's so weird how it works for reach then. But it absolutely for every brother adjacent to enemy, including the brother attacking, pike gets +10. Yeah, you're really blowing my mind right now because I don't know which of these. I guess I'm gonna have to test it again to get the accurate thing. My understanding from this fucking picture here would be the axe gets +10. Each of the sword dudes here gets +5. Would be my understanding. Are other people saying different numbers for this? The bonus is, see, that's what you're saying. You're saying the bonus is the same for the sword dude and the axe, and that would make no sense to me. Why would the axe and the sword dude have the same bonus adjacency? Everything about that wording. It's doing the same calculation the guys that are adjacent. Not sure it is the same. It's true. Oh. Okay. That makes sense. Wow, the way you phrase that. What you're saying then is that the formula is just all attackers get a bonus based on the number of surrounding targets, -1. Okay. So the underdog still is as good for the things you're directly adjacent to, but it's slightly less good than we've been giving it credit for versus reach weapons, is what we're learning. That's what I would thought too, Nin, but I'm being told that's wrong. We should just test it at some point. I guess we'd need to know melee defense of the enemy doing that. But I'm curious if anyone wants to run a test on that or doing that, would be great. But I'm not sure now. But either way, underdog's still kind of the best. Underdog is still with 2 enemies around you giving you a minimum of 5, and with 3 enemies around you giving you a minimum of 10. And maybe it's more or less based on for the reach weapons behind it. But anyways, I don't think that changes anything for us. Okay, we're never going to get through this if we don't work on this chat. And I wanted to play this game today. It'd be very difficult to explain to my wife's parents, like, what did you do all day? Well, I was streaming a game. How did the gameplay go? Well, we didn't. We just played with Excel instead. Play with Excel anymore, with Google. Excel is love. I don't disagree. All right. So moving through this, what else would we add to this? These two-handers. We have 2 spots left on this. We'd like to get through with this. There's some argument for execution and crippling. Some argument. Some argument goes when you're fighting humanoids, crippling's nice. When you're fighting people who are taking crippling damage, then execution is nice. It doesn't give us any survivability. There's no quick hands on that. You know, we're running quick hands here. What are we running fucking quick hands for? We think we're running reach weapons. Okay. So then Headhunter, Executioner, Crippling, Fortified Mind all come to mind. I don't hate Crippling. We could try that. We could try Crippling with the idea that these are specifically designed to be running hammers and maces. Although early game, this is going to be hard, right? Because the game, you don't want a bunch of shitters running around dealing with low accuracy people running hammers and maces. What could we do if we didn't buy into this quick hands and all? That wanted to do this with what else would we take buying that? It's just these other perks are so fucking low value. We'd take Headhunter, Executioner, and Crippling if we didn't take quick hands. But Steelbrow, yeah. I mean, it's on the list of defensive things we might do. That's weird, wow. Morale check formula is based on HP. Is it? Are you more likely to lose health when it's above 15? Never knew that either. I knew that if you took 15, you had a resolve check. I assumed it was stable. All right, we can try this. Overwhelm. Overwhelm. All right. So we tried this version. We try this with Crippling. Oh, we need 2 though. Fuck. Try it. Scenario option's always been there. I don't like undiscovered map. It's an option you can choose if you want it. I don't like it. All right. Headhunter? Headhunter's got to be fucking huge value on people using only hammers and maces, right? Every time you smack somebody in the head, it's fucking great news for everyone. Pretty much. The world in which this hurts us. Zombies. Steelbrow is good insurance. Painful insurance, honestly. All right. Do we have to run Steelbrow? Yeah, CS and HH for a lot of concussions is a really appealing idea. Regret having picked up Headhunter. That's absolutely not true until now. Maybe it's true now. But I think in general, we have to prioritize living to killing people, right? I just don't know if, or rather, long-term for our frontliners. I don't really buy into the 9 lives logic. I mean, maybe 9 lives versus Steelbrow, but I'm still not sure that's worth. It still feels worse than just. Oh. If you don't want your game. Sure. Try this again. All right, so we're looking at this build here. Help me work through these, chat, when we get onto this. So it's okay. What's the actual ordering like on this? So assume we want to build these without student too, because these are our early brothers. So it's Colossus, Go Brow, rotate. Need one more for underdog. This is a mace or an axe spec. We would like relatively early, but probably can't get. Oh, this is probably Pathfinder. Not taking recover. Underdog. Battle Forge. This is gonna be Battle Forge with no brawny. Oh right, no rotate. Fuck. Right. Colossus. Can you imagine building a brother without rotate? Steel brow. Bold move. Bold move. Pathfinder. I think that early is probably good too, because you're probably gonna stam out immediately otherwise. Need one more for underdog. Presumably that quick hand's going. Oh, I get that gifted. Shit. Thinking about this. Alright, Colossus, gifted. Pathfinder. Steel brow. Footwork. Battle forged. And then the final ones are what? Final ones are Weapon Spec, Killing Frenzy. Steel brow. Two. Work for 5. Two. Battle forged. Then the last ones are some weird ass shit that didn't make any sense for anyone, right? Dog, not footwork. Thank you. Yep. Killing Frenzy was in there. Weapon Spec was in there. Killing Strikes was in there. Then what's the final? Headhunter is what we're going. Or we're going for Steel Brow. No, we already have Steel Brow. Final one, Headhunter. What am I missing? I'm missing one, chat. I looked at this better. Recover Rick's Brew. Quick hands, right? Quick hands. Yeah. It's kind of. I guess if you're not killing anything, okay. I can buy building a two-handed damage dealer, not running Killing Frenzy or Berserk. I can buy it for about 2 seconds if we're building, if we're focusing on wounding people. So what then? Headhunter for that last one? Executioner? Reason for dropping Student? Don't worry about Student. If you build your build and want to build it with Student, you can do it with Student. You can take Student whenever you want to. You're looking for another damaging one instead of Killing Frenzy. I'm willing to buy it, kinda. Because these weapons don't do a lot of damage, they don't do a lot of fucking killing people. Although presumably you smash someone in the head with one of these maces. Here. Here, Killing Frenzy is damage. But Killing Frenzy is damage when you kill things. If this character never kills things, then not damage. So if this is a crippler. If the point of this build is essentially be up front, be a two-hander that you can use a medium to bad brother with, which seems to be a lot of what it's doing, to reliably do damage every single round, and to take advantage of that. I mean, the only thing I kind of, I like it. It's a very early game build. If you look at that, right? Like it comes to power very soon, and it takes advantage of the shit you're getting dropped with. Yeah, this would carry a reach weapon. Kills with the quick hand weapon swap. No, the quick hands is just literally to keep you dealing damage always. Almost get, I mean, if we didn't buy that, if we're like, you know, we don't ever want that. I mean, we could always, we could, for example, watch. So we could put Headhunter and Crippling here, probably the other way around too, by the way. And the last one is Quick Hands. If we don't want to do that, we can run something like Steel Brow, right? So, okay. What are we doing for the Nimble variant? This would be, I guess we probably actually the way we're doing nomenclature for this is not there. Put Steel Brow down here. So this is, okay. All right, so we like a different character. This is a front line. Fine. Already has Steel Brow. Thanks. What would we do for the Nimble variant of this? We try to get dodge on this for the Nimble variant. This is part of a thing we're not doing right now. Let's get rid of that. And this was, do we need dodge version runs Overwhelm. Well, we could drop Steel Brow. Could become dodge. Then you're running dodge, Colossus, and Nimble. Makes sense. You have to relentless on this. Overwhelm on a single attack per round. God, I fucking hate Overwhelm. It's so bad every time I've ever used it. Yeah. Relentless instead of gifted. Okay. Right. So let's do. These are that's very interesting. So what are we doing with actual other two-handed? We had like ideal two-handed, God stat two-handed. Do we just not build God two-handers anymore? Are we just building God duelists? It feels like duelists are gonna have gotten better with this patch. Me. So are there specs that we want, like two-handing gods on? Is the build you're not sold on? No. Oh, we're testing. Overwhelm apply 3 stacks of 3-headed flail. I don't remember. But I think that's a good thing, Xylo, right? I mean, Xylo's comment was this is a build that's built for monolith clearing. Sure, the guy who's talking to us about the build builds it for monolith clearing, but I think it does have internal synergy build, right? The build goes, hey, we have these shitty brothers who have good skills, good stats in some skills that we're interested in, but not good stats in all the skills we're interested in, and we're trying to make them as useful as quickly as possible. And that's a problem that every player of Battle Brothers has, which is in the early game, you don't have God brothers, so you're left dealing with with just regular slubs. No. All right. Okay, we're gonna run gun. We're gonna build that gun build. So maybe we just sit on two-handers for a second for a minute. Like, do we need like serious two-handers? Maybe not. This was low stam. This is a stam neutral. And did Mason Hammer. Yeah, I think Quick Hand's got a buff this patch by the fact that they're trying to get you to use more consumables, and they added a bunch of consumables, which is interesting to me. I particularly am interested in messing around with the status effect application off of bombs. Serious two-hander hasn't changed. Has it? Indom is no longer good on them. What are they doing? Best two-handers are maces and hammers. The best damage dealing two-handers are axes. And the best chance to hit ones are swords, which are pretty weak overall, except versus Orc Young and Undead. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about Sphinx, is exactly that. Do I just build duelists over God two-handers? Yeah, everyone with quick hand has a reach weapon in the backpack is the plan, Xylo, I believe. So is this just an argument for more duelists? I mean, duelists are restricted by the weapons you find, right? Basic two-handers tend to be better than the basic one-handers for terms of pure damage. Sword has been fine in the desert. They have very, very low HP. All right. I think we are deleting these for now. All right, so these are the Cleaver brothers, right? Next one I want to work with. I think this build is really close to being where we want it to be. So this is the banner is just a variation of this too, right? And the idea of this is high utility. Yeah, it's cleavers and whips because they share a spec. What are axe wounds or hammer head and axe wounds, right? So if I'm looking at a pole hammer as a weapon, which I generally do not like as a weapon, is that something we could be using there as well, or is this basically hammer mace, or is this basically just mace? Or excuse me, hammer axe. Yeah, Xylo, it makes sense from what he's doing, but I don't know that I want everyone being two range like that. You're trading off for that. You're trading off your stam in part, and you're trading off your utility pieces, and you're trading off specialization to some degree. Although if you're just moving around, so. Okay. Whip attack uses a melee attack. So looking at the Cleaver specialists, Quick Hands, Berserk, Killing Frenzy, Brawny, Indomitable. So these are Battleforged versions of it. I think Battleforge is almost always. So these are again not running Colossus on these. Because I'm very vulnerable to being fucked up by things like every enemy in the game now. Don't get Indom. We just dropping Indom for Colossus on these? I mean, these are technically cleavers can still run Indom because cleavers are attack for 4. It's harder to want to get rid of those. Minus 50 concussion is not 50% damage reduction though, right? The bad renown. There being bad renown is right. But what if, I guess what I'm asking, all right, so look at our Cleaver generalists right here, right? Student, Recover, Rotate, Cleaver Spec, Underdog, Battleforge, Indomitable, Brawny, Killing Frenzy, Berserk, and Quick Hands. Is there anything we can actually get rid of here? Doesn't really look like there's anything we can get rid of there. But they're gonna be squishy as fuck. It'd be really nice to have Colossus on them. 5 AP. And create dreams. Plan on how to deal with orcs and molds without indom. You probably have to still run indom, is what I think. Rotate seems like all or nothing. Doesn't to me. You're probably only going to be running 2 of these other ones. But what if we did a no rotate playthrough? How many brothers would just die instantly for no reason? What if we did a no rotate playthrough, but we added flash smoke grenades in? Yeah, me too, Triple P. Be like a no torture on a darkest day. No rotate's a bad plan, smokes are an okay plan. Well, if we're trying to get points back, I mean, okay, so we drop rotate, for example. Add in Colossus. Look, now he just survives on his own. He's good. He's good to go. Could be perfect. Why do you always have a Cleaver bro in your roster? Because of whips. See, Graves says no rotate. He says he doesn't use rotate, chat. Could be the value in saving brothers. Overrated. Give them 9 lives. They don't even need rotate. They were gonna die. Now they live. They're not bleeding anymore. Win-win. What are we doing with Cleaver Generalist? Looks fairly good to me. It's good if you misplay. Is it a misplay when your opponent rolls well and hits you? What if he hits you twice in the head with new Headhunter? A misplay to get hit in the head? Sense. I would consider that a misplay. Fatal misplay. You got hit. Your guy died. You lost. All right, how about the duelist? The duelist we're never running. We're never running adrenaline. So I want the duelist to have more tools, right? We need more of these guys, basically. They don't have quick hands right now, so it's probably got to be that. Didn't recover quick hands, weapon spec, underdog, Battleforge, Dom, Ronnie, Killing Frenzy, Perk and Duel. These are not quite clear yet. Man is a rule. Yes, Filthy Robot is definitely a real. There's gonna be times where your brother gets just shat on, and it's super unfortunate. Exactly. Is to mitigate bad rolls for sure. But if we're, and I'm making the joke about this as lightly as I am because I'm not giving up rotate. I'm gonna take the impact of rotate by dealing with grenades. Plan. Yeah, just find another 3-star hedge knight. So, all right. Are we happy with this build? Do we need to build the Nimble version of it? Probably do. So this is Battleforge. Nimble, we should look at the ordering. Indom, I think we're keeping on these guys. We're gonna try it. This is a test. See if it's playable now. Brawny becomes what? We don't know because we already added Colossus. This is an extra point. Dodge on these. How come I don't prioritize gifted on all? The answer to all questions is opportunity cost. Is the answer. Does this dodge? Over Brawny for the Nimble. It's actually a toss-up for gifted versus dodge. It depends what the actual stats work out to be in general. And any universe in which we run Pathfinder or anything else here? Okay, we're close to being ready to start a playthrough again. We'll probably just wipe a couple times, you know, to like Ina's or something. Higher stam dodge is worth less. That's fair. Maybe this is gifted. Yeah, stats there. It could also be, if we weren't really interested in gifted, it could be fortified mind. With the new knowledge of underdog, you end up deciding if it was worth it for the Cleaver bro. I think it's worth it on everybody who's tanking still. All that we learned from that while was that the back rank, the second rank of attackers gets slightly less value out of that than we thought. That's all that taught us, right? Like the front rank of attackers behaves exactly as predicted, but it's the second rank of attackers that behave slightly differently. So it's a slight nerf for underdog relative to how we were thinking about it for fighting skeletons. It's skeletons and nobles, basically, right? Backstabber on the back road. Okay, for this one here, let's go ahead and just think about the ordering of this. Definitely take Colossus over Recover, thanks. What else could we take here? Get quick hands earlier too, seems nice. And just bump all of this back. Oh, gifted early. Bad. You want to get gifted as soon as humanly possible. So what's the ordering on this? What did I just remove, chat? That's bad. What did we just take out? We just took out Recover, right? So what ordering on this? So Colossus into gifted is super, super, super nice. Then we're running into we want a weapon spec as soon as humanly possible on this build, because this is for early whips. That's the whole point. What else comes in early? So if we don't take student, so this is an early build. So this might be a no student build again. You can build it later with student if you want. But let's say it's Colossus, quick hands, like Recover down here. I mean, shit, do we need to build 2 sets of duelists doing this? What if we just took like bags and belt on this? Fucking put grenades in there. Is it too much work for one set of people? It might be. Didn't weapon spec faster. I'm not taking it for that. I'm taking it because it gets us earlier stuff like gifted sooner. Like we're trying to get our brothers to survive, right? Like this is like another early game kind of build. Drop gifted for bags and belts. Yeah, that is an interesting question. Inventory space becomes more interesting when we have things to do with it. And we always want a whip, always want a cleaver, sometimes want a bandage, sometimes want a dagger, sometimes want grenades. There's like 3 different grenades. All of them are utility. Oh, area denial, maybe not utility. Extruxus, the prime sub.
Praise the sub.
And Nats, yeah, Nats. Dude, is it bags and belts? Is bags and belts back on the table? What were we give up? We give up gifted, but gifted is only on the 1 build, only on the Nimble variant. But we're likely to get Nimble variant early because you don't get a lot of super good Battleforge brothers early. All right, all right, all right, all right. Sure. No gifted. What does this one become then? It becomes bags and belts. Because we're forcing Colossus on all of our fucking Battleforge now, which I think is reasonable. With the advent of Chosen and the advent of all this fucking piercing shit, right? Like Colossus just gets better. Wounds are literally the worst thing that happened to players. He's on like a wounded brother, you still have to pay him. Dead brother, he's just gone. Right. Advantage on 2-handed cleaver. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Which is you might actually hit twice with the cleavers. 2-handed cleavers.
29 months of great entertainment.
Thank you, UV Mega. Appreciate it, man. Greets made Colossus a must for you? Possibly. Yeah, 9 lives is bad because it makes your wounded brother survive. Exactly. It's like rotate. They're both traps. 100%. You don't want to have any survivability is just a trap, chat. Think about it this way. Donations fund the stream part. How do you get donated at? Have a character die. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever to write down some sort of defensive perk. It's just not what you need. It's just not going to help you. That's a low value play. Anyways, so we're totally up for this new one. This new build. Okay, Colossus, Quick Hands, Recover, Cleaver Spec, Underdog, Battleforge or Nimble, Indomitable, Brawny or Bags and Belts, Killing Frenzy, and Berserk and Recover. That's late Recover. Why are we taking Killing Frenzy ahead of Berserk? I mean, you might be able to argue that we Frenzy on this Cleaver guy since he attacks essentially half as often. Depends how utility we want to build for him. Are there reach cleavers? There are, right? The stupid but it's the scythe. Is the scythe the cleaver or speed? Scythe is kind of garbage and everything. We still gotta have people dealing damage. Problem with everyone being utility is that sword. I haven't even seen this. I guess what I'm wondering here, chat, is do we want all of our utility in our frontliners, or are we trying to get some backline utility? And if we're trying to get backline utility, I don't really run backliners. I run archers and I run leveling in the back. Like the further into the game you get, the more happy you are with just like fielding like 10 two-handers, 10 duelists, you know. But that's what I'm arguing though, Night Knight, is that I don't think there is much of a backline once the game gets further enough. Get damage perks in the utility build. Because it becomes a question of where is our damage coming from? Are these supposed to be versatile units that are doing lots of different things, including damage, or not? Anyways, more of a support guy? No, not really. Two-handed Cleaver is a damage dealing on the front line. It just depends where we put them. My point is, I don't think we have back ranks to put people. So if they're not standing in the back ranks, I expect them to do shit. And if they're doing shit, they probably want to be doing damage. And maybe you can drop Killing Frenzy or Berserk if you're not realistically doing damage on them. Like the pure duelist should basically be doing that. Even my pure duelists are probably throwing fucking grenades, it sounds like. Right? Because I mean, the pure duelist is basically the Cleaver right here, but except that he's using weapons that aren't cleavers. Right? It's just weapon spec with grenades. What are they giving up for that? If we're gonna get quick hands in for grenades, we have quick hands in the fucking duelist. Why do my duelists have quick hands already? Okay, why does it already on there? Weapon spec, Underdog, Battleforge, Indom, Brawny, Killing Frenzy, Berserk, and Duelist. Why? This duelist have this already? That? Throwing weapons on duelist? No. Or am I just using reach weapons? Hitting the backline with reach weapons? No, it doesn't. No, it most certainly does not. Alright. I mean, it's already got quick hands in there. We don't have to worry about it. There's no Colossus in that build. I really like the idea of taking advantage of grenades. That could be a lot of fun. Where are we getting Colossus in here? Didn't recover, quick hands, weapon spec, underdog, battleforge, indom, brawny, killing frenzy, berk, and duelist. Like no extra room there. I think indom has a place on the front line on duelists. I think. So what we're doing here is we're taking rotate essentially by taking quick hands. Fine with that. With the grenades anyways. If that's what we're getting out of this. So how do we get something on our duelists so the first time they get hit in the head, they're not out permanently? Yeah, we need one talent point back on this duelist. Where's it coming from? Are all duelists just regulated to now being nimble? Because we need that brawny roll. Just nimble. 100 AP armor. Helmet rather. Okay, okay, any of these cuttable? Berserk and Duelist, no. Killing Frenzy, no. Brawny, maybe. Indomitable, maybe. Battleforge, no. Underdog, no. Weapon spec, no. Quick hand. What I'm going to try to do with them is what I'm trying to do with them. Is there a way in which we could make our duelists not have to be the quick handers? Like, what if our decision making chat, try this one on, you ready? What if our decision making process, our decision making tree went like this? Is the brother Battleforged? Yes. He's a duelist using a non-cleaver weapon. Is he nimble? Yes. Or rather, is he a high enough stats to be a duelist? Yes. Is he nimble? Yes. Then he's cleavers. Because then we could get the extra points on the other ones. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we instead of like if we ended up with like 3 of these cleaver generalists, is that enough? Like out of 12, if 3 of them are cleavers, do we have to run 3 cleavers for that? That's pretty fucking painful to run 3 cleavers. Well, ideally you want exactly that. You want a Battle Brothers flowchart exactly for that reason, because you want to look at each brother and go, he'll be best suited for this. As I'm trying to shoehorn fucking Colossus into all of these builds, that means our duel. That means, so who would still end up being Battleforged? Battleforged for Megas. Probably. Battleforged for these builds. Yeah, exactly. You have a flowchart like that because it makes entirely sense. It's the same reason for like XCOM stuff, right? It's like you pick up a brother with certain stats. What do you do with them? And we would really like these to be nimble. Kind of defense for late tournaments and arenas. You need. I haven't played late game arena yet, so I don't know anything about that. Because it would be really nice to just drop quick hands here for Colossus. And if we did that, you do what? Hands the damage perk on a duelist? How? Alright. Alright. So we got this thing to finish, and then we got we got to build our gun build and our dagger build, and then we're gonna go play this game. It'll probably be like, I don't know, time next week, this game. Is banner plus 2 cleavers enough utility? That's a really good question. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? Like if you make all of your utility on the same builds, those builds are too taxed, right? So disarm on the cleaver is super nice. But if we're spending actions disarming, we're not spending actions throwing grenades. You know, I kind of would like to have that backup in there for who else is throwing grenades. I mean, this fucking idiot over here's got quick hands. This low stam build. Do we just all need bags and belts and run grenades on everybody? What if we drop this crippling strikes headhunter picked up belts? Chat, I'm getting a little bit of analysis paralysis going on here with too many fucking decision fatigue, rather, the other one going on with this shit. So, all right, looking at it from a damage perspective, we're gonna have archers for damage and we're gonna have two-handers up front for damage. These guys are kind of like medium damage. They're supposed to be plodding along, putting out damage every round. These guys are supposed to be more about disarming and burst. And the duelists are supposed to be pure damage. So ideally, we want the quick handing going on here. And if we have it on the banner, the cleavers, so say we get 2 cleavers and a banner for 3. And then these guys, if we ran 2 of these as well, we end up with like 5. 5 grenades probably does it. Is that enough? Probably enough, right? Okay. How do we get bags and belts on this building? Drop Headhunter. Okay. And are we all right with this spacing now? We're really not. Low stam build doesn't have the stam to use grenades. How much stam does the grenade cost? I thought they were cheap. 20? Fuck's sake, really? Well then, changes things. What are our Battleforge brothers doing then? So Battleforge can be this low stam build. They can be megas too. Can this Cleaver spec be? Cleaver spec can't be, right? Get 1 grenade. Without bags and belts, we get 1 grenade and 1 thing. Is there another two-hander that we could build with this? What if we just built this again for the duelist? What are we missing? We're missing the issue. A lot, man. A lot. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just build the generals, build them with bags and belts, make them brawny, make them battle forged. It's just a big decision point right there, right? If what we're looking to do for this playthrough is bring the bulk of our damage, the bulk of our high tier damage dealers to be duelists, which is what we're trying to do. We're saying, okay, this is early to mid game. These are our early mid game carries who continue to be valuable by being able to inflict wounds later. We've got these guys to allow us to do things like capture equipment, a mix of the cleaver plus the whip. So we're taking advantage of all those new things early. And the duelists are like, we roll that gladiator like we did last time, who's got 3-star fucking melee defense and 2-star melee attack with godlike starting stats, and those are our duelists. If we do that, do we really want those to sometimes be running utility? The gunner, you think, could also have a grenade? Could do. The archers could lob grenades if they had space in their inventory for it. But our archers are not running recover right now. They're not gonna fucking stand to do anything ever again. God characters be. That is the case then we just run that in. What did I just pull out from here? This is Student Recover, Colossus, Weapon Spec, Underdog, Battle Forged, Ronnie Killing Frenzy. What is the one I just dropped from here? Oh, but you know what that lets us do? That's actually great because that lets us go Brawny / Headhunter. All right. What's the last one we just dropped from here? We dropped added Colossus, dropped Quick Spec. What am I missing? Battleforge, Underdog, Colossus. This is Nimble or it was Indom. Thanks. Okay. Attack on non-hostile now gives -3 relationships. All right, so that's good then. So this one, so we have to get grenades in here. So where else can we get grenades? Can we get grenades in? If we're gonna drop rotate, I need a lot of smoke grenades. It doesn't seem like it's an archer thing realistically. I don't see where we're taking points back from them. Not a mega thing. What's on these guys? In here. These guys have to have it. So if this guy, so the quick hand builds here are going to be two-handed weapon, reach weapon, and a grenade. That means no nets, no daggers, and no bandages. The cleaver utility guys are going to be whip, cleaver, grenade. So unless these guys run bags and belts, we're not getting that. Okay, so this is probably not steel brow dodge. We just have to let these guys not have steel brow or dodge. Just have to be and then run bags and belts down here. Will there be gameplay today? Probably. Getting close. Drop gifted. Yeah. Yeah. But we can't do this anyways, chat, because these guys aren't gonna have the fucking stamina to throw these grenades. Right. Do that anyways. Oh, don't do. I have to go nimble with bags and belts and my cleavers and bags. Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm looking at too, Sphinx. That's what I'm looking at as well. This is gonna have to be here. So we're just gonna have to have at least two of these. Two of these and two of these. But these aren't, fuck, I can't have, if we're giving up rotate group wide to deal with grenades, we've got to have enough grenades to do it. And I don't think two guys with fucking grenades is enough. And if these guys can't run it because they don't have the stam, someone else has got to pick it up. I mean, we could drop the banner being cleaver, being whip spec'd. Sure. How much worse is Backstabber than I was giving it credit for then? Literally half as good. Carry a grenade. Okay. Gotta get those cleavers out soon. Okay. Done with that? Yeah, I know we have one. I'm getting bored with building characters though. So we gotta build this character. Let's finish our banner. It's the banner, then it's the the new gun build we're going to try, and then we should look at anything else if we can. From these, what would we do differently? The duelist sequencing, all right. Ideally, we get these sheets done. I don't have to ever think about this again. I don't have to think about this again until we run into a problem that we don't have solved, right? I could just follow my fucking formulas on this and be done with it. So Colossus Quick Hands recover. Okay, this is a Cleaver specialist. Colossus Quick Hands recover. Cleaver spec underdog. Battle Forge Nimble. Abominable, sure. Brawny bags and belts. Killing Frenzy Berserk. Sure. They might not even need them. Actually. Or at least one of them. Okay, and the duelists are doing student recover Colossus. Always be the brown. Weapon spec. Sure, if we know it. Underdog, Battle Forge, or Nimble, Indomitable, Brawny, Killing Frenzy, freaking duelist. Okay, Goblin Banner. Student Fortified Mind. Rally the Troops. Backstabber. Cleaver spec. Weird thing to take on banner. Stamina thing. Nimble recover Colossus. Good on all of these. Hands, bags, and belts, and what? The new fearsome perk on the bannerman. Haven't. Meaningful. We've got one perk left on this brother. What else have we not really thought about for this? Quick hands, bags, and belts are good. Cover is good. I need Brawny on that. Could try fearsome there. Doesn't seem like it would be that good, but maybe. I heard Lone Wolf Banner is a new thing. No anticipation on there right now. We give up on range defense on our banner too. Bling. Sure. Just gifted. We already have gifted in that build. We already have don't have gifted in that build. Polearm spec. We could. All right. All right, I'm bored with dealing that. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so let's do the final two builds of this morning, then actually go play the game that we're streaming. All right, we want the gun spec. What, if anything, do we want on gun spec bros? So the goal with these, so okay, of these, we tried the zero stand frontliner, tried the early carry. We've got whips being all over the place in our builds now. We're looking to try headhunter on our ranged, adding a lot of quick hands to the builds. We're looking for, we have a dodge build in there. I don't think we're playing with the fencer right now. We've added crippling strikes to a build to see if this does anything. We've removed all the reach specialists from our fights. We have duelists in there. The ones we haven't messed with are the Dagger, Overwhelm, and Fearsome Gunner. And we haven't messed with Lone Wolf. Okay. Okay. Why no reach specialists? Because I think they're a trap flipper. We already have in the back that needs to be in the back. We have the banner and the archers that need to be in the back. And then we have every guy we level them in the back because it's safer. And they level in the back with reach weapons. I think having someone specialized in that is just blocking the back ranks that we're actually trying to level with. Eventually, we don't want people in the back. We want people with melee defense, and we want like a team of 10 fucking duelists and two-handers if we can. All right, so what are we doing with this gun spec build? So the types of things we're going to need eventually for that are, I don't know if we need recover for or not. I heard it wasn't very stamina intensive, and it's not. Need to get to weapon specs. So what are the core things for this? It's gonna be weapon. It's gonna be crossbow spec. Gonna be overwhelm. It's going to be fearsome. These here are weird things. We're gonna need ranged attack. If we're running fearsome and we want it to be meaningful, we need some degree of resolve. Possibly. And then we need, potentially, we're looking at, if we're trying to make this utility as well. What are we doing about other things here? What is sword lance? I haven't seen sword lance. Is it a, what's the attack cost on it? Is it 4? Banner could be the gunner. Good idea. Will I add preferred stats for the other builds? You can check out previous ones. I may add that for these. Colossus and Nimble. Yeah, we need some armor. Okay.
Quitters never win.
You, Mr. Fruit Pie. Cheers.
Love you, man.
Yeah, sure. Morale breaks are better in mass, sure. But we're trying to use the gun. The reason to use this is not because I think this is going to be a good build. The reason to use this is because we're trying to figure out some use for the gun. Right now, the gun looks like absolute ferocious dog shit. The only thing I can think of the gun might be useful for right now is like AoEing like creatures. So something like this. Sure. We just take a brother we absolutely hate. Do this. Fast adaptation on gunners procs on every miss in the AoE. No, it doesn't. I said that this morning. My results were if I hit, I got nothing, and if I missed, I got 10. And I missed 4, got plus 10, and I hit 1 out of 4, so I missed 3, hit 1, and I got plus 0 from fast adaptation. Pathfinder for mobility, respect for javelin swap. That's, I mean, just have a crossbow if we want to do some damage to something. I mean, this build looks terrible to me, chat. What else are we doing with this? So it's going to be grenades. We don't have enough grenades. Bullseye be helpful with the gun. I think bullseye is something we can drop. Yeah. Your build. Tell me what we're missing here. Fortified mind to boost fearsome. Like a lot. Guns are useful if you treat it like a crossbow brother when there are no good shots to take. Sure. Problem with crossbow brothers is they were just bad archers prior to this. Or cover. I was still getting hit rolls on all the gunshots. Probably need some sort of initiative boost. How do we get initiative boosts on brothers? We just don't run any. We don't run max stam. So this needs to be a build that runs stam neutral again. Overwhelm that good. No. But what's the again? The point is, what can we do with guns? If gun is a weak AOE attack, well, what can we do with AOEs? We can apply status effects. What are the status effects we can apply in this game? We can apply bleeds with some weapons. We can apply fear with some weapons. We can apply, or with a perk. We can apply overwhelm as a debuff. That's about it, right? Cripple is another one. Yep. Although the gun doesn't cripple. Yeah, but again, Chad, this isn't gonna do it though. Like we just said, hey, we can have our fancy duelists who don't have grenades and don't have rotate because we're gonna run the gunner and the gunner's gonna help with that. If we just run this gunner and I don't want it in any fight. Dude, when you find a famed crossbow, sure. When you get a weapon that actually does something, the crossbow is better. Who knew? Sure, famed swords are playable too. Be a hybrid brother? Maybe. What would he do if he were a hybrid brother? When he's not using guns, he's what? I mean, we could do that. Like, fuck, we could run guns where we never try to hit. We're just trying to apply overwhelm. At least we'd hit multiple targets with it. Although you can't hit in a wide area very well. Need expo spec for guns? Yeah, it's every other turn to fire without it, every turn to fire with it. With guns, the skill of the shooter and the defensive target don't determine whether the target is hit, but rather how much damage. Seriously? Is that true? I've not heard that before. What the hell are the hit rolls based off of then? Why would I want fast adaptation for plus hit chance if it doesn't matter? I don't know what to do about this. Does not seem like a build I'm interested in right now. It doesn't seem like it does anything. That was an idea put forth by the devs, but it was dropped. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting too, Grognerd. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe the gun build is something that you want in like the line groups or the which in the two backgrounds that have 1 million people, and you could just spam AoE them. Huh. Do we just not build a gun spec here? I've never found a famed crossbow. Did try it. We tried it last run. It was terrible. Nothing. Every time I fired it, I was angry. Without exception. There was never a hit roll off the gun. I was like, sweet, nice. Indebted gunners, yeah, because you don't give a shit. I don't think you can get fearsome on indebted gunners though. Alright, you get 7 points. Where are we going? Oh. 3, 4, 5. 6. That's the level requirement. That's required level 7, so we get 1 more, right? Fearsome. I don't know if you can get that. I don't know if the student gives you the ability to get that unindebted. What if this is how you build? That. Yeah, easy taunt. It literally say ignore the taunt, bruh. Anyways. I don't know what the fuck I'd do with that. That doesn't seem like a build I want in my game. Alright, someone find me a gun spec that matters and tell me about that at a later time, because at the moment I'm not building that. That just seems like trash to me. AoE wound. Doesn't do any damage. You wound, you have to The wound you have to take chunks out of flesh, and it does not take chunks out of flesh. I mean, the point of a crossbow is wounding. But if we're already running, I don't know. Dagger Bro. The Dagger Bro ever worth building? It's always been bad in the past. We've built a couple of them. We built Geist killing Dagger Bro, which was alright. That was the best use of Dagger Bro we found. I've seen people try to do these builds for swapping weapons, use daggers to generate procs. It used to be a headhunter thing, but it's not a thing anymore. New daggers seem amazing. Thanks, Pip-Boy. That's my take on it too. Mace and Call. Why does it Mace and Call that matter? Consider a Dagger Bro that focuses on dodge, relentless, and casts overwhelm with his spears slash. What does that do? Dagger hits like a short sword. All Dagger special attack does 33 damage, extra damage, 20% extra pen. But what are those stats compared to Mafia Chief? So tell me that. So 8 fatigue is like a sword strike, right? A sword strike with sword perk is 8, right? So let's pretend that it's a sword strike for 8. So tell me about the new special dagger attack compared to just a regular attack with an arming sword. What are the pen values of, I mean, we have somewhere. Just don't know if they're up to date. Like, what's a noble swords? Like, what are the daggers piercing stuff, right? New daggers 30 to 45, okay. Where's our non-duelist noble sword? Normal, so it's 47.5. So, all right, 30 to 45 is, what is that? Half of 75. So like 30, basically, damage. So it's 10 less than a noble sword. 20% armor pen. Where is our actual numbers for this? So the same armor pen and less armor damage. And you can up that. Is the numbers with that? So you trigger the extra damage attack and it's doing 33% extra damage. About the same amount of damage as a sword. Doing 20% extra pen, so now we're quite a bit more pen. I need to read this again. What start has this? One of us started with this. The gladiator starts with it, right? Let's just take a quick look at it. But it doesn't ignore armor, Mafia. So presumably you can't farm shit with it. Where's the stupid fucking weapon? Here. Alright, let's look at this stuff real quick. You guys see this, or is it blocked by the pole? It's blocked by the pole, huh? Yeah, you guys can't see shit. There we go. Call. Wow. Okay. I can't see the attacks when I do that. Let's read this. Inflicts 33% more damage against and ignores an additional 20% armor of targets that are dazed, stunned, or trapped. Okay. There's a 33% damage boost. And ignores 20%. Additional 20%. So total ignore then is going to be 40 there, right? Presumably you can get duelist bonus on this as well. So presumably you can get another 20 ignore out of duelist. All right, because you don't get puncture damage off duelist. So we can get up to 60 ignore. All right, so what type of damage is that then? So this was 30 to 45, which we decided was half of 75, which was 38 or something. So it's about 38 damage. And then another 30% of 38. I guess I could just actually do this calculator. So let's find out what the average damage is. Fuck, it's my calculator. There. All right. So it's 30 plus 45 over 2 times 1.3. 0.3. All right, so we're getting 50 damage. Okay. And then what is the sword doing for this? So that is 50 damage, ignore 60. Oh, but I didn't do the times 1.25 yet. And ignore 60 with duel. 60% damage ignore is pretty interesting. Okay, so the question is, how does that compare to a straight up fucking sword? Oh, it's 25, so ignore 65. Thanks. Okay. And it costs how much stam for this? Unspecialized is only 10. I thought it was gonna be okay. So, we have to go look at the sword now. Right. Sword wise, we are looking at average damage of the sword was this times 1.25, right? This is without that. It's with or without. I think this is just base damage, right? Because these are the ones we're entering values for, right? So it's gonna get 1.2. I wonder if this it's been too long since I've looked at this fucking thing. Is this a one-handed sword I'm looking at? Let's assume it is. Let's just take the number. Okay, so this one then is 47.5. So it's basically the same damage as a sword. It's within a couple points of the sword's damage when you're doing that. And it's looking at... Okay, so it's better than a sword doing that against a stun target. But you have to have the additional rider of a status effect. And you get 3 attacks. This is a dagger. Maybe that is worth something. Higher damage than I thought I was going to do out of it. I didn't realize the secondary attack was so cheap on stam. Yeah, overwhelm fearsome with that would be quite interesting. Don't need fearsome again though, because you're already going to be doing enough HP damage. You're going to trigger this resolve to the status check. Also, what does a net cost you? 5, 4, or 3? It feels like that could be something. At least there's a point to it. Alright, so what would we want to do with it? The ones that we'd want Overwhelm on it. The only ability, it's the only weapon that ever feels like it'd be interesting to use that with. We'd want Dagger Mastery. I'd probably want it to be utility. Since it's not going to be a pure damage dealer, it's probably going to want things like quick hands and fucking nets and shit. Gonna need recover if it's gonna be, well, I don't know if it needs recover. It probably needs recover because it's gonna be bursting with the dagger. Needs duelist. Dodge. Gonna have high initiative. Are we gonna have high initiative on it? Crippling strikes. Seems like that could be good. We have Berserk? I don't think so. We level initiative. We level initiative, then we have to drop something else. Piercing injuries are not the best. That's very true. So, what is it doing better? So we're overwhelmed, but we can't overwhelm from range. You need to either start adjacent to the enemy and go ahead of them, which is likely could do. So we probably want things like relentless, dodge. With crippling. Good. Nimble, yep. Okay. Answered about will I play today. Always level initiative and dodge plays dividends again. Doesn't it not? Isn't the math for that really simple? 0.15 times 6, which is the max roll. So on average, you just level dodge. You just level initiative because you want dodge to be good. You still only get less than 1 point of melee defense for every 6 points of initiative you put in. Fast adaptation would be good with this build. Recover. Enter. So what comes out of here? If we're trying to get recover in here, presumably. You need fast. You really need fast adaptation with high enough melee attack. Maybe not. Swing strikes comes out. Just don't care about dagger wounds. So recover and something else here. This looks like a bad blueberry hunter right now. This doesn't have any of the utility either. There's no grenades on this. I guess you can go quick hands. Put grenades on it. Fast adaptation. Alright, my immediate concerns with this are what do we do about stamina? Triple attacking with 8s is not the end of the world, but you're still losing stamina, so we're gonna have to recover sooner or later with that, so okay. Need fast adaptation. Fast adaptation is at its best. You're attacking as many times as this, right? This is exactly where you'd want fast adaptation. Especially since we don't care if we miss because of overwhelm. Am I wrong? Backstabber than fast adaptation. I wouldn't. I mean, if we're gonna roll on that, it's gifted is better. I mean, do we care about hitting? If we don't care about hitting, then... I mean, we do care about hitting, though. We actually would like to be able to do damage. I think this is probably close to this. Are we missing anything with this? Any real obvious ones? Bags and belts would be nice, but what would we give up? Fast adaptation. Maybe fast adaptation is something we could get rid of here. We have to have relentless, probably. The knife duelist? Yeah. Why have dodge and relent? Because the initiative is relevant on this build and it's not in the other builds. Perk for damage? No. Underdog? No. Underdog is maybe a yes. Definitely. Survivability. Really attack piercing wounds stack pretty well with the overwhelm. This piercing is like stabbed arm and shit. Alright, how's this? This build? Dodge relentless with high initiative is probably tanky enough that you don't need a dog. I'm willing to try it. Hands him as well. There was something else chat said that was really interesting. I kind of like the idea of crippling strikes of this build, right? It feels like this is another wounding build, right? Your goal is to apply as many debuffs as possible to your opponent, right? And that's resolve checks for being stabbed every time, wound checks for enough damage. So it feels like I would try to do crippling for this. All right, how does this build out? No PF or adrenaline. No. Okay. We're looking for the order of this, and I think we're gonna take a break, and then I think we're gonna start. I think this was the last build I wanted to build right now. So crippling, recover Colossus. So it starts with Colossus. Dude, it feels really bad not to take advantage of 3 melee attack. Like this feels like a build that really wants quick hand or gifted. All right, Colossus. Get dodge right off the bat. Is dodge a shitter? Dodge is a shitter. Colossus dodge. Relentless. Okay. Okay. Hands a little bit later, I think. The dagger spec. We're gonna skip underdog apparently. I believe. Hover. All. Nimble. Duelist, overwhelm, and what's the last one? Quick hands. No, we already have quick hands. Duelist, overwhelm. We were trying to decide crippling if we want it. That, I guess. Okay. So no bags and belts on this. We do have quick hands. What's our reach dagger? We're gonna be spec'd for reaching. What is our reach weapon here? Goblin pike. Is it a dagger? Executioner, sure. Alright, you guys ready to play the game yet? Kind of ready to play the game. Yes, second catch it is. Okay. Alright. Happy with this? Did we get all the things we wanted? We still have not built the lone wolf. Okay, gun build. Still did not do a gun build. A lone wolf build. Oh god, I can't type. Did build a lot of grenades in there. We're gonna try a dagger build. Okay, we kind of got where we wanted to get for this. That's the plan, Rises High. Okay, chat. Then I'm gonna leave you guys. I haven't taken a break yet. I'm gonna go grab water, see about food, etc. I'm probably about 5 minutes here. Then we're gonna start gameplay. I hope you guys have voted for the start that you want. If you haven't, it's still on the screen. You're still able to vote for that. Please vote twice. Once on which type of economy you guys would like to see, and once on what start you'd like to see. And I'm gonna be back in probably like 5 minutes here. I'll leave this up. See you guys shortly. Alright, chat, I'm back. Let's get to it. Actually get some gameplay here, seems nice.
A renewal. Welcome back.
Filthy, glad to see you back with BB, and I am back to see you explore how the rest of the world will play this game until the next update. Smile.
Thanks for the sub-sentient hamster. And cheers for the sentiment. Alright. Hoping to see a fearsome build. I don't really know that fearsome has a lot of point. It's a problem. I'd like to see it too, honestly. I'd like to see breaking orcs morale actually be something. Alright. Get webcam back on a second. So we're gonna do Northern Raiders. We're looking for decent starts, and looks like chat voted on low economy. All right. Do your gunner fearsome build because it looked bad.
A kind gesture.
I'll check both the siege chat recommended. I see him. All right. And Strom Taker with the $5 donation. Thank you very much, buddy. Finishing up, munching on some food, guys. Sorry. Xander asks, is it 3 separate rolls for 3-headed flail on negative? Mostly it's a positive. Alright, so this is Northern Raiders. I rolled 1 Northern Raider start this morning just to remind myself what I wanted to see what it did, the interaction between Northern Raiders and the South down here. Looks pretty bad for us, by the way. Ideally, this would be the faction that we're not... Well, maybe not. Maybe this is the faction we want to be angered with so we can jump them. Alright, let's take a look at our brothers.